Moon in Capricorn, Sun in Taurus. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dave B. You're watching Dave B on TV, where we go beyond the everyday bullshit that people be consuming on a day-to-day basis. And today we breaking down astrology again. A whole lot of earth energy going on. So, this is a cool, so it always comes down to whether or not you've been planting good seeds or bad seeds, especially after the full moon, post full moon, because post full moon will let you know the true actual results of what you was participating in before the moon, while the moon was waxing. And when the moon is waxing, it's all about putting in the mental energy, doing in the internal work, putting in the internal work of just managing your mentalities, creating better thoughts and feelings for yourself that reflect the goals that you're trying to pursue, and how you have to, how you actually bring that into the physical is by utilizing your body and moving accordingly to where the energies are at. So during each moon phase, making sure you are taking care of that area of life and doing utilizing the energy from the sun to actually pay attention to the proper angle, to look at the proper view of whatever phase we're going through, because we go through many different phases. It's about, the moon moves every 2.5 days. So that, we're talking about, 2, 4, 6 in a 7-day period, a week. That's 3 different shifts we make emotionally. You know what I'm saying? So it's always changing. So it's always something to pay attention to with moon transits. If you gonna pay, if there's anything you're gonna pay attention to, it should be at the very least where the moon is at, and acknowledging where the sun is at. But getting into the moon, and so planting seeds, as far as the good seeds, right? During the moon in Sagittarius that we just left, we discussed good seeds look like you developing more optimism about whatever it is that you're working on, right? It's an in conjunction, which is a misunderstanding. So it might be harder to see the bigger picture, but it's all about deriving the right meaning and reasoning for whatever it is that you've been putting in work with, whatever you've been consistent on, and deciding for yourself whether or not what you've been putting in consistent work for, is it actually contributing to your growth, or is it something that you don't really need to be participating in, something that's actually developing itself into a cage. That's kind of doing it more on the right way, where you're seeing ahead of time based upon you being able to see the bigger picture of whatever you've been committing your loyalty to, or whatever you've been choosing to value with your energy. Now, on the bad end, right, planting bad seeds look more like you was trying to find some way to escape your responsibilities, or some way to escape or lying to yourself, developing, because Jupiter, right? So Neptune is really the planet of illusions. This is why Pisces energy is really about imaginations and illusions. But see, Jupiter Sagittarius can be just as delusional, as far as them thinking they know better. I'm not so much making this an attack on any Sagittarius's personality, because we're all different. You know what I'm saying? So you might have Sagittarian aspects and not necessarily be that way, but the nature of Jupiter is wisdom and knowledge. And sometimes where Jupiter fucks up is by just, again, assuming that they know more, or it's kind of like that energy of knowing too much for your own good, or again, developing meanings and reasonings that are off, aka you develop a meaning and reasoning to call off work because of for the wrong reason. You know what I'm saying? You thought it was wise, you thought it was something God told you to do, to call off work, when again, if the wiser thing to do, that wasn't very wise. You knew that you had responsibilities to take care. Can't talk. Let me slow down. You knew again, Sun and Taurus. It's a lot of earth energy going on. I gotta slow down. So that in this case, in this scenario, it would play out in forms of, you knew that. So based upon the meaning and reasoning you came up with in your head, based upon maybe a desire or something you felt like you wanted to do, or wanting to escape and feel free, right? You chose to call off work when you knew damn well there were bills you needed to pay. You knew damn well there were responsibilities you needed to take care of, which made it important for you to actually get up and go to work that day. So it'd be shit like that, where you have to be, I can't even say you have to be honest with yourself. It's just you have to know how to derive and pick and choose the right meanings and reasonings for what you're experiencing. That's kind of like the key focus at the moment in time. Well, that was the key focus. I'm talking about that Sagittarius energy. Now let's get into the present. So coming off of that, right? That's what bad seeds look like. You was coming up with forms of or reasons to escape whatever it is that you've been so consistent on, based upon you might feel like it don't work. You might feel like you're not seeing results and things of that nature. But we're at a time where we have to do a lot of the work and put in and commit to a lot of this energy. It's almost like this is investment type energy. You got to look at Taurus season as investments, even though investments really be like eighth house things, but they share that axis, because this is the first part of the investment, working on your own value that you're bringing to the negotiation. So this has much more to do with you on a one-on-one internal level, right? So that you can have something of value to leverage with. So a lot of time, so at this moment in time, when it comes to our journey during this year, right? Developing our sense of our higher self, manifesting that into the physical, the new you, you know what I'm saying? In Aries season, we developed a new awareness. Now we are creating the actual foundation that it stands on, the value of the character that we've created, right? We didn't even get to the character yet. That's more so the expression of the character, as in, and when I say the character, I'm talking about ourselves, a new version of ourselves that we're actually bringing into this new world, because we already been in this new world, but now it's like we're getting our footing again. So this is as the 7 is playing out as the 1 again, developing your initial awareness, your thoughts, your kind of like part of your masculine energy as far as your expression of yourself. That's what this year kind of represents, due to the fact that the numerology behind it is 7. Even if you are a woman, right? It's not saying, when I say masculine, I'm talking just energies. So this is a masculine energy. This is a masculine type year, where even, no matter who you are, there needs to be some form of forward motion. There needs to be a decision to be made, initial push. You know what I'm saying? And this is all getting into, again, choosing whether or not you're going to start to operate off of your higher self, or go to your lower self and allow your lower natures to drive you, and allow those things to be your inner voice of whether or not something is good to do, or whether or not in good and bad, of course, is subjective, but I'm talking about just the nature of the 7 energy. 7 is also related to energies of the messenger. So you got to think of the type of messages that you want to open yourself up to. Do you want messages from higher angles or lower angles, aka angelic messages, or messages from demonic places, demons and things of that nature? And the demons aren't anything outside of you. This is all shit that you are. Well, I won't say that you are, but this is all shit you're dealing with within you, because again, you're the spirit. You just choose what you're, as far as thoughts and feelings, those things aren't you, is what I'm getting at. So again, you start to have demons around you based upon the type of thoughts and feelings that you keep around you. You know what I'm saying? These be your lower voices, and these things will drive you to, cut, shoot, steal, do anything to your own family, just for the sake of a desire, based upon you feeling like you need something, or again, you going against people that you love, or that truly love you, that care about you hurting them in ways that they can't even fathom, due to the fact of you feeling inadequate, you feeling feelings of inferior inside, you not knowing how to let go of certain feelings and develop better thoughts and feelings of how to see yourself and how to see the world around you. This is why a lot of people fall victim to being agents. These are the people that we see in our life change over time and become, again, everybody is their own worst enemy. So when you see somebody going through those trials and tribulations, you just know a lot of that, and not to say that people don't go through things in which the external world treats them a certain way, but again, our external is a lot of time is a reflection of what we've kept in our internal. So at the end of the day, we all got to look at situations and be like, damn, where am I accountable? Where did I put in the actual work to manifest this for myself, even the most harshest of situations? And some things come to us to show us things that we needed to see. And it gets deep. Especially when we talk about some of the things of this world, you know what I'm saying, and wondering why you might be going through certain things, because I know how crazy it can get. things I can't even imagine, things that people have been through and had to go through. And the thing about it is, it's about strength, spiritual strength, and being able to derive and come to the right conclusion of the shit that you're experiencing. But getting into the energies, and that kind of calls into the energy we talking about right now. See, the moon is going into Capricorn, or it's already in Capricorn, which is, again, the moon in Capricorn. It's away from where it loves to, where it's home at. It's home in Cancer. It's away from that. So the moon might be prone to care about things that the moon might not need to be caring about, like status, material things of that nature. So, that's one thing to keep in mind. Don't allow your status to become the thing that is driving your emotional well-being. Don't allow your status, don't allow the feeling like, oh, I don't have enough materials or I don't have enough resources to make you feel inferior, or to allow those things to take you to a place in which you think it's a reflection of because the moon deals with comfort and sensitivity and insecurities. So, you might become very insecure based upon your status or lack thereof material, or become very boastful and feel proud and grateful for the wrong things, aka you're grateful and you believe in God and you got all this faith because of how much material you got, or how many results you got in your, how much results you could show for it. Again, results in real life and material things, there's nothing wrong with those things, but a lot of times, that's not what that's not always the most spiritual things in the world. That's not always what really matters. If you allow money and external material things to run your internal state, you give your power away to something, again, that has been created. You giving all your esoteric, powerful energy to a dollar. You know what I'm saying? You allowing this dollar to change how you feel about yourself, how you see yourself, how you interact with other people. And it's like, that's backwards. You're supposed to be the spirit, aka the authority. You give that dollar value. You walk into a room and with your energy, it's supposed to be you shifting the states and stuff like that. You making other things feel with you, and it gets, but that's big spirits and little spirits. When you enter a room, you got to make sure that it's more so about being in control of your own internal, not necessarily trying to control others. But when you control your own, you become the influence, you become the power, you become the income, you become the value, you become again, you become wealthy based upon the way you're able to think and feel. So, you can either use this moon in Capricorn to initiate better thought forms that create more, boss-like energy, you know what I'm saying? Or energy in which, again, you the authority, because it's coming from Saturn. So things in which you can create like bricks with, you know what I'm saying? You creating your it's like moon in Capricorn, initiating feelings of, you want to initiate feelings that of again, thinking of being practical, earth type stuff. But this is you going with that with the moon, initiating things in which you can, again, utilize as, I don't want to say utilize as status, because, well, that's kind of what it is, knowing how to use your feelings at the moment. See, if you planted the right seeds, there's things in which you can look at around you that you'll have already feelings on your heart of being secure in certain areas, feeling like what you're participating in matches your status. So this is kind of what makes you feel comfortable with the moon in Capricorn. The moon in Capricorn. This is actually what'll make you feel comfortable, is being like, okay, well, I feel like I actually fit the bill of my status. I feel like, I have resources, feeling like you are able to, so if you planted the right seeds, you'll be in a space like that in which you're able to use your feelings in a more sufficient manner. You're not so emotional because you feel like you lack in certain areas, or you feel like you aren't really who you see yourself to be as far as your status. You feel like you don't have the material to reflect how you want to feel about yourself. That's more so on the bad seeds end, and then this makes you more prone to be again, more manipulative, want to utilize others, want to put on facades, and The thing about it is this energy trines the sun. So this is really a gift right now for us to make more serious strides towards what we're building, our foundation. This is taking that fixed energy and making it a lot more, again, giving it movement. So this is you being able to move forward with things that make more sense in your life. It's just you don't want to use that to create blockages in your life, aka thinking too hard about things or stressing things to the point of even more stagnation. Because see, we still got Mars in Cancer, so Mars in Cancer can flip on you right now. See, Mars is going to be opposite the moon, so we might be very uncomfortable based upon what we feel like we should be passionate about. If you haven't done the work with Mars in Cancer, then you won't actually be in a space where you know where Mars needs to be applied. Because again, Mars in Cancer has been having conversations with the sun in Taurus, in which you could have developed a very, some bad habits based upon you wanting to be more comfortable, and this might have led to certain forms of laziness. So if that was how your waxing period went, you might not have actually put in enough work to enjoy the material reflection of the fruits of your labor, basically. So in this waning period, you might have gone through a full moon in which you feel less than satisfied. And right now, again, it being so close in the proximity of the full moon, you might still feel unsatisfied, and that energy can go against you. We have to find something to be satisfied with, even if it takes us actually, ironing out certain things. See, the moon in Capricorn, we need to use that to kind of soak up our feelings and put ourselves in more of a hard space in which we can actually manage the current time. Because if you're able to put yourself, again, this is more so knowing how to utilize your feelings for something more realistic, and putting those feelings towards your ability to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Utilizing those feelings to put you in a space in which you can actually this is, I don't want to say developing the courage, but taking that courage and actually doing something with it. You should already have certain things built up based upon what you've seen for yourself as far as the full moon goes, the waxing period goes. You should already have seen, whenever we're going through a waxing period, this is to show yourself what you're capable of, so that during the full moon period, you can look back and, based upon what you know to be true because of the areas in which you decided to expand, right, which you now know to be true, this is where, as a full moon, again, that's part of your satisfaction energy, having a certain mentality due to experiences you actually went through that proved to you that you were capable of certain things, or inspired you to actually go further with something, right? So getting back to the astrology, just the moon opposite Mars, we might be uncomfortable with our willpower at the moment if we haven't done the work with Mars. But remember, Mars isn't where it's supposed to be at, and the moon isn't where it's supposed to be at. Really, these energies are looking at each other to kind of figure out where they can balance, because Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So, and then moon is home at Cancer. So these energies are seeing where they can exchange their feelings for a sake of knowing what direction to go. So this is really you kind of coming to a decision, and it should look like, so whatever you're making as a decision, this is you using the sun, right? Consistency on a new blueprint. The moon, aka needing to initiate a new way of going about material and practical. So this is an energy in which you can utilize to actually come to a better conclusion on how to get to your goals and manifest your reality type shit. Even though we know it's not really manifestation time, it's more so protection time, or utilizing what you've already accumulated in order to keep things going and flowing, and being able to see opportunities in which, again, you're able to get more out of the situation than you're able to get more out of the situation based upon what you chose to invest in during the waxing period. It's like certain doors will be opened up during the full moon period that would only be open due to the ways you was handling your mentalities during the waxing period. Sometimes it's hard to catch those because those be very like low-key energies and low-key things that you might not even have noticed. It's just when the full moon rolls around, if you keep that same energy, you're able to see those doors wide open and be like, oh, dang, I didn't even know I could jump through this. I didn't even know this was an option. As opposed to if, depending on if you ain't really do a lot of the work, or you planning some bad, more percentage of bad seeds than good seeds, you won't necessarily see these doors. It'll always feel like you have to work extra hard to open these doors. So if you planted the wrong seeds right now with the moon in Capricorn, this is you being hard on yourself, and you find it even more difficult to kind of do what you need to do because of other responsibilities, because moon in Capricorn is going to also have you aware of certain places in which your responsibilities is needed. Again, you're going to start to feel like, damn, I don't have as many resources as I need to actually accomplish my goals in reality. And this could be very discouraging and allow you to put yourself in a space where you even, put yourself even further back, because you're gonna you're gonna shy away from the status you do have, and you're gonna start to, again, you might even start to neglect your responsibilities to the point in which when the Aquarius rolls around, you're not even going to have enough of an idea or enough idea for yourself to feel confident in associating yourself to be able to delegate and get more done in the form of teamwork, making the dream work. Because that's kind of how the Capricorn into Aquarius transition goes. You know what I'm saying? The internal earth energy, we have to decide the plan for ourselves. So this is where the whole boss mentality comes from, where we, this is energy we can very well use to decide for ourselves where we're going to take ourselves, where we're going to put our energy, where we're going to invest our time, and continue to be consistent, because it has to look like Taurus. It has to look fixated, as opposed to something looking more stubborn and us actually, again, not taking advantage of the current push to change. And see, that's another aspect of the moon in Capricorn right now, it giving the gift of change and actually having the emotional capacity to handle real change. You know what I'm saying? Not all those emotional hiccups that we go on where we want to feel comfortable and we want to feel like this, we want to be validated based upon us, again, our emotions, and wanting to be naked. Right now, moon is trining Uranus. So this is actually us having the strength to say, you know what? Okay, boom, yes. Okay, just got some little cool email. Okay, boom. So yeah, this is moon trine in Uranus, actually having the emotional strength and fortitude to go forward with change. You know what I'm saying? And so again, that's been the whole emphasis, underlying emphasis for so long. We have to change ourselves, and we have to position ourselves. Well, I won't take it that far. We'll say that for another later, because I was going to say position ourselves as far as a new way of correlating our reality, as far as stability and security. So it's like, if you want stability and security at this point, it's like you already know you need to change. If stability and security is something on your mind, and that's something you striving for, it's going to take changing. And this is the energy in which you can utilize, this is one of those days in which you can access this energy and go forward. Not to say it's going to be all peachy, not to say it's going to be all easy to do and make the most sense to do. Well, that's the thing, we're in a position in which we can actually make something make sense for ourselves, like as it relates to our dreams and imaginations. And that's another aspect of the moon being in Capricorn. It's sextile in Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces. That's the opportunity to actually make, to come up with the right feelings that can support the building of what you want to be, your reality, coming from your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Building your reality based upon that imagination. That's Saturn and Pisces in a nutshell. It's like the moon in Capricorn, again, creating that sextile where there's opportunities to build on that. Now, you could build on blockages based upon emotions. So if you're not, again, Saturn and Pisces, because Saturn and Pisces is going to have us all look at our feelings and decide for ourselves what's real and what's not. Because see, we're all in a situation where, again, when it comes to doubts and insecurities and stuff like that, a lot of those things is based upon our ability to manage reality. And so we're looking at ourselves and saying, okay, am I actually, this dream, is it actually possible? And I'm just feeling down on myself, or am I feeling the truth and that, this dream I'm going for is an illusion, it's not really capable? See, we're going through kind of back and forth fluxes between that. And it could lead you to certain conclusions that, again, you build on that that self-doubt, you build on that illusion, because the actual illusion might be the fact that you're coming up with thoughts and ideas of you being incapable. It's like sometimes you gotta play with your mind in the sense to be like, maybe the illusion is that I think that I'm incapable. You know, we need to start thinking like that as opposed to thinking in ways of being like, uh, the illusion being you having the ability to do something. Not saying be unrealistic with yourself, because you got to be realistic with yourself. You got to actually put, and this is the second part of things where people lack, or people forget, is that you actually have to participate in order for you to know whether or not you are capable or not. See, a lot of times people would just be on the sidelines or sitting back and putting energy in of, seeing themselves doing it, imagining themselves doing it. And a lot of times that's even the space they get attacked, to get self-doubt, to be like, well, are you really capable? And it's like, fuck all those thoughts and feelings, get in the game. You know what I'm saying? Once you get in the game, it alleviates so much more stress, because you get to see whether or not it's true or not. And you don't have to spend so much time going back and forth on whether it's true. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like sometimes people be so afraid to actually get in. And it's like getting in and experience it for yourself, it clears up all the confusion. Because coming up with thoughts and feelings on whether or not you're capable of something, at a certain point, you're just going to exhaust yourself, because there's no true conclusion to that. That's an ongoing process. That's like hope. You know what I'm saying? Creating the esoteric hole for yourself where you're just going around in the same loop. You can tell yourself you're capable of something all day. But again, like how they say, like, seeing is believing. Whether you believe you are capable or not, that's good, fine, and dandy. But the truth of the matter is, you gotta get in the game to see the reality of it. Like, there's no way around actually experiencing some shit. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused, because you'll waste your whole life deciding on if you capable, or imagining you being capable, imagining you either being capable or incapable. And the thing is, like I was just saying about the moon. The moon moves so fast. We go through so many different moods. How you feel about yourself today ain't gonna be how you feel about yourself tomorrow. So when we feel certain things, that's another indicator that sometimes when we feel things and get the inspiration to do it, we got to do it. Because, waiting too much time in between, you miss out on the experience. And that experience is what actually matters, because you actually putting skin in the game. This creates a timeline for you. You know what I'm saying? Like this might be a weird analogy, but like video editing software. It's like, if you think of your life as what you put on the timeline, right? A lot of people stay in the preview, where you put all your footage there and you just kind of reviewing footage, but they don't actually take time to put things on the timeline, aka decide that that was an experience that they are going to go through, and trimming it down to being what it is. And then putting effects is like you adding your own creative sauce to your life, because we all have to make our life the most dope story ever told. Like, if you're not looking at your life like it's the greatest story ever told, then you probably not living for real. And a lot of times, we go through mundane shit and stuff like that. And some people like being in mundane modes, but that's just the type of movie you creating for yourself. But it's like we the directors, the editors of our own movie. It's like, I like to look at like this energy. Like, I don't know, this analogy just popped in my head. It might be dumb, or it might be simple, but it's like, it's true. It's like a lot of folks, because I don't know about all that. I don't live this way. But a lot of folks live their life in the preview, and they just go through experiences, and they just want to scrub back and forth and imagine like that happening for themselves, or imagining, you know what I'm saying? Because all that footage, even the things they've been through, they ain't really go through them. They was just looking on, they was looking on the sideline, or they was trying to observe too much. It's like when you decide to put something on the timeline, this is you making something real for yourself. Because it's like the preview could look like all the imaginations you ever had of doing things. Like, oh man, yeah, man, like trying to own this type of company. So you go through your whole life. And the reason I'm saying this is because life is long, but it becomes short based upon how we manage our time. Like, sometimes people be so much in the imagining of what it would feel like to experience something, that they allow life to go by. Before you know it, You ain't put nothing on the timeline. You didn't actually get up and do the thing. You just came up with so many feelings about what it would be like to do the thing. And it now when you see other people doing the thing, you're prone to want to criticize and have a 2 cents to put in, when it's like, what does that 2 cents mean to an experience? This again breeds the whole envious thing, where it's like you have no choice but to be envious everybody around you, and you have no choice but to continue to relinquish your power, aka diminish your life. It's like, man, like people come into the world having so much life to live, but they diminish it by, again, not putting no skin in the game, not putting nothing in the timeline. You got to go through stuff, and that matters, because the type of movie you putting together for yourself, again, you ain't got to dwell in the past. You ain't got to keep, even experiences that you go through that don't work out. Like, once you put things on the timeline, you can modify that. You can edit it. That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Edit it to make it work for your story. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't be taking authority over their own life, aka choosing to edit their own story and manage their own story, tell their own story. Some people don't even know where to start. You know what I'm saying? And they too busy looking at other people's timelines and trying to steal from them. You got stock footage in your film. Now, how that work? You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be your unique journey and something that we never seen before, a good movie. And you got so much stock footage. It looked like a presentation that we done seen from 1,000 other people. And it don't look right because, certain things is off, like the music, the theme music off, don't fit the stock image. The image is unsynced. You know what I'm saying? All this other stuff that if you don't edit videos, you probably is like, what is this dude talking about? But, I took a shot because, maybe that can help y'all see exactly what it's like. But so getting back to the astrology of things, so the moon in Capricorn right now, again, it's powerful for change, you know what I'm saying, and making those pivots and doing real things behind those pivots in life. And also the moon trine and Mercury in retrograde, better ways to think and go about things that we've dealt with in the past that involved our value and what we were spending time in as far as consistency, or whether or not it was stubbornness or not. So a lot of this is about how things functions and certain results you was able to come up with. So say you was in a certain circumstance or experience previously, right, that had to do with your stability and security, what you was working on, or whatever area of life you have Taurus in. But the idea, though, or the energy behind whatever area that life is, it took consistency. It took forms of you having to secure it and being responsible for it on some level, and having to value it, or choosing what to value, or having value yourself to apply to it. So these type of scenarios in which, if in a previous way, right now, right, the moon will give enough comfort in the ability to kind of, again, it's initiating energy and bringing that to fixated energy. So if you are being spiritually aware and you're actually peeping where things went wrong last time, you're able to initiate, basically coming up with a new blueprint or way to go about things that turned out to be stubborn, or things that turned out to not be as predictable or realistic previously. You know what I'm saying? This again is contributing to the trine with the sun, where now you can make better moves based upon actually being able to look at reality. Now, if you planted the wrong seeds and you're still not paying attention to the right signs right now, again, it might be very hard for you to come up with the right idea as far as a new plan, something that actually makes sense. It might be hard for you to make sense, or you feeling like you don't have enough resources. And even that, you should trick your mind into, being like, no, I actually do have all the right resources. And just because I don't have this in the material, don't mean I don't have it. It's got to be in me, not on me. Yes, probably what you need to remind yourself if you are on that end of energy in which you're still dealing with those back and forths and insecurities when it comes to that aspect of it. Now, when we talk about the moon squaring Jupiter, learning about our experiences, knowing what's realistic to derive from those experiences that we can utilize. So we're going to be looking at all the things that we've been through and seeing what we can actually use as far as a form of wisdom to actually help us gain more stability for ourselves, or what can help our status, and what our actual experience says about our status. And same thing with our mistakes. Moon squaring Chiron, learning what we can utilize from our mistakes to make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Or this is going to be you kind of being extra hard on yourself based upon these energies. Kind of, again, if you can't find the lesson, if you don't know to learn, or don't know what you're paying attention to, or don't feel like you even have the resources, you're gonna feel like, damn, maybe I wasted time, or maybe what I went through wasn't worth it, or doesn't relate to what I'm actually trying to build for myself, or the status that I'm trying to establish. These might be harsh realities that we have to deal with at the moment. Just with the moon in Capricorn, brings that kind of like more colder energy, that more drier energy. I'll say dry. So, even on that end, there's not a lot of emotions to pick on to make you feel secure about things. So if you feel uncomfortable already, that's just something you're going to have to lean into. You still got to get your responsibilities done. But the benefit of this is it'll put everybody in a mode in which they'll be able to actually handle those emotions and compartmentalize those things in a proper manner. Or I won't say a proper manner, but you'll be able to put your feelings aside for what actually needs to be done in reality for a moment. You know what I'm saying? You'll at least have that with you. Moon is going to be opposite, it's going to be opposite Venus. So again, Venus needing some form of, again, pleasures is going to be opposite to where the moon is. So, we're not going to have the comfort of what makes us feel good to get us through this time. This is a good time for a little bit of restriction when it comes to those things, potentially, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to say, that's what it's got to be, because, even with Venus in Cancer, as far as our love matters and the things that we love and appreciate, we need to take these things to a new private level. These things are things that's going to make us feel comfortable, or at least should contribute to us developing comfort. If it's not making you comfortable, then it might not be something you can see yourself committing to continue to support in that nature, or continuing to value or appreciate. You might start being like, nah, I can't appreciate that if it's not going to make me feel like I'm at home, or make me feel comfortable, or like I can be, feeling nurturing to me. Opposite the moon, that's the thing. We need to make sure that we are valuing ourselves in the right ways, because the whole thing is, with that type of energy, the opposition between the moon and Venus, what we appreciate and what we like and appreciate and may want, and what we need, are in two different spaces. So you don't want to sacrifice too much of what you need, aka getting to your responsibilities, setting yourself up. And again, the moon isn't where it's supposed to be at. So us being so hell-bent on material can very well lead us off a cliff. So we have to be careful and find the balance in there. But at the same time, knowing how to leverage, knowing how to balance the things that we know we need to handle as far as our responsibilities, and again, the things that we want and that we like and actually contribute to us feeling, joy and pleasure, having those things, on the other side, not letting those things drive us either. Not letting, again, because if you let the Venus aspect drive you, you're going to cling to everything and let those responsibilities fall. You're going to allow yourself to be thrusted into chaos, in which you, again, because the moon needs to be protected. The moon is what you actually need. So you done sacrifice your wants for your needs. Now you somewhere looking crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then vice versa. You was so much into what you needed, but you didn't actually get what you wanted. That doesn't feel great either. You know what I'm saying? But, it's a balance between how we value ourselves and knowing what kind of things to sacrifice at what time. Now, the moon also is going to sextile, I said that, Saturn and Pisces, Neptune. What's on the other side of that? Scorpio energy, yeah. So the South Node and shit like that. South Node being energies that we feel like we've mastered, or something that we're comfortable in. That's the thing right now. It's trine in the North Node and sextile in the South Node. So we might actually be able to use things that we've mastered. Like even right now, I feel like it's a time in which a lot of people are, because we're all in this new awareness planting seeds with this new version of us, especially post full moon, post eclipse. So with this new forward movement, again, like I was saying in that previous video, any outdated mentalities it's not gonna work. And that again, sun being next to Uranus is like, that there's no way you can even pretend that old outdated shit is going to work in this new time. And this is a good energy to kind of double down on that new path, you know what I'm saying? But the moon trining Mercury again, being aware of what's even on your mind, because your mind and your heart is basically linked right now. And that's how we're manifesting things for ourselves. It's based upon, our feelings matching with kind of the thoughts that we're putting out, thoughts and feelings aligning, our mentalities being in alignment. Whatever your mentality is on is what you end up manifesting. So right now, it's just a time in which you got to be super aware and act like you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Again, that's what that shift was about, because the people who know what they're doing, they're taking this time and they're being very efficient with it. The people who don't really know what they're doing, they're going to take this time and, they're not going to catch every point. You know what I'm saying? And that goes from a large scale to a small scale, because there might be certain things that you get right, but a lot of things you miss. You know what I'm saying? And on the other, other scale, it might be somebody who's just completely oblivious, and they making a lot of mistakes right now because they didn't catch the shift. But that's what the shift seems to be about. It's about how efficiently you're able to use these things. And when I say these things, it's like how efficiently you're able to use your mentality to commit to this new life that you're building. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're doing anything outdated and you're not committed to actually diving into the newness, this is where you get left behind. This is where you might actually prove yourself to not be capable, just because you're not updating yourself with the necessary thoughts and feelings and movements. And again, this is very physical now, you know what I'm saying? Meaning you actually do need to get up off your ass and do something realistic, do something in the world to show your efforts as far as what you're putting together and designing for your life. I feel like there's still more that I wanted to say, but at this point I gotta go soon. So that's the basic thing. With the moon in Capricorn, this is really strong energy to be used for really strong energy to be used for setting yourself on that path and being able to actually be, again, like kind of like the boss thing, taking over and being the authority of your life, basically. This is good energy for retaking that power. The moon is going to pass through Pluto at the end of this transit. So again, this is like setting yourself up for emotional transformation. And right now we have the gift of actual physical transformation when it comes to our status. When it comes to our security. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that kind of energy where it's like, just, this transit is more so committing to that change and committing to that development and having it make sense towards what you're trying to position yourself in your life for. And if all these things align, you'll have the proper status and you'll feel like you have the proper status. And then when we go into the moon into Aquarius, there'll be something to learn, but the lesson that you learn will actually help you know how to associate things and how to get people, how to know who's on your team and how to build a community, basically, or having the right individuals around you that are unique in their own way that you can start to build with and actually make some movement going on. You know what I'm saying? But that's kind of the next energy. We'll talk about that when that time comes. But anyway, I believe that's everything. I believe it's, moon trine in the North Node. So again, you know what I'm saying, that goes again with the gift of us feeling like our spiritual path is realistic. Try not to make your spiritual path too material-like, but you can start to come up with feelings as though, hey, what I'm doing and what I'm striving for is actually realistic on a spiritual level. So that's kind of the space you want to put yourself in. And also, don't be afraid to put yourself in the other space in which you are deciding for yourself, because it comes down to decision. But you might be in a position in which, you're actually getting yourself out of an illusion. You seeing, certain things you need to be actually responsible for. And, It's all a matter about what you're going through and how you need to use these energies for you, what makes the most sense for you. Because not everybody has a fairy tale story. Not everybody's going through positive shit. Not everybody going through bad shit. Everybody going through different shit, where some people's answer is to dive in, lean into something. Other people is to fall back and restrict from something. So, make sure you're having discernment about what it is you're going through, and not just listening to this and only hearing what I'm saying that make you feel good, because it's not about that either. Sometimes we have to go through times in which we feel extremely alone, or negative, because whatever you're going through, God needs you to build that mentality, or God needs to see what mentalities you commit to, because that's really important. It's not that you got to know that God is all possibilities. So when you're going through something, and this goes to what I was saying before about the illusion being that you're incapable, you have to remind yourself that there is a possibility in which what you're seeing can work, or whatever it is that you actually want out of a situation or circumstance. You got to see that, know that, and believe that there's a possibility out there that can align with that. Then you backtrack into reality, and you do what you can in the present, in the physical, to reflect that result. But mentally, you have to also commit to the right thoughts and feelings that align with that, and be strong enough to block out anything that contradicts what you're going. But a lot of times people get caught up because too many thoughts and feelings hit them. They go through stuff, they start seeing what they don't like, and they lose track of the initial sight and the initial thought. So, this is man, that's why we say spiritual warfare. This shit is war. You have to really be on your P's and Q's. You really got to be on your shit, because it happens so fast. It happens so fast, and it happens very nuanced, you know what I'm saying? But that's the whole thing. That's just my point, is just saying whatever it is that you're striving for, that's the process to it. So, but be realistic too, certain things you're supposed to go through. Certain things look like negative, but they're teaching you, again, it's all perspective and how you decide to see it. Because at the end of the day, no matter what turmoil and tragedy and catastrophe you're going through, if you got the right perspective, you'll make it out. You know what I'm saying? Or you'll get to something that can be satisfied, that you could be satisfied with, something to be grateful for. You know what I'm saying? And that's all you can really ask for, something to be grateful for. Like I seen in some interview, somebody was saying, you find something to be grateful for that gives you something to look forward to. So a lot of times people become stagnant because they start to lose gratitude. When you start to look at everything in your life and you don't see yourself getting praised for you don't see certain things materializing for yourself, you start to develop a lack of wanting to move forward. But, having gratitude in your heart, it gives you that passion to say, you know what, even if things look fucked up right now, I know what I'm striving for. There's something to keep on going for. Type shit. That's how powerful gratitude is down here, and satisfaction. Even pretending to be fulfilled, but also knowing when it's time to feel unfulfilled, because sometimes it's time to put yourself in a space in which you have to strive for something. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, y'all might be trying to make some, real big moves with money and investments, but you have to put yourself in a space as if you are broke. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, again, you move rich still, but you in the space of I'm broke right now, but you know what magic you doing, because you just putting yourself in a hustle spirit to be like, let me get up and accumulate and set myself up. Let me properly save and manage my money in a way in which I'm going to have 10 times more when I come out this. So I doubled the rich based upon me knowing how to utilize my mind. A lot of people just don't get that creative with their mind. Everything is a mind space. So you got to look at whatever goal it is that you're looking for and say, what mind space do I need to be in to make that real? And when you jump into those experiences, don't bitch out. Actually commit to that, lean into that, and decide for yourself. And again, it's got to be a decision, but you got to make that decision on whether it's that's what you want or not, because you're going to get what you commit to. Basically is how I like to look at it. You're going to get what you commit to. And that could be negative feelings, negative thoughts, anything. You know what I'm saying? If all you do is negative thoughts, you commit to your negative thoughts, shit, you gonna get what you commit to. If you commit to your positive thoughts, hey, you're going to get what you commit to. It's another form of saying you get what you deserve, because whatever space you frequent, that's what you're going to be and manifest. That's what you're going to see around you, perspective. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. So, keep that in mind too as you're going about your goals. Again, this is like powerful energy. Powerful energy, because this is you setting the tone, setting the standard. And again, we got to establish the foundation now, so we know the arena in which we can move around when it comes Gemini time. Arena that we can move around, you know what I'm saying, in order to properly convey our ideas, our values, and things of that nature, properly convey and associate. We'll get more into that closer to Gemini season, but and like I was even saying last time, we're heading into the third decan of Taurus. This is you being the boss of your values, you being the authority of your values and things of that nature, and you decided for yourself where the restrictions and boundaries need to come in. This is the more mature version of Taurus, where it's like, not necessarily higher octave, but more mature, where you're looking at things from an aspect of being like, okay, where does the movement need to take place, and where can I take authority, because I know these values, what I'm saying, these are the later deacons, what I'm saying, it's a later deacon of Taurus. Right now I think we still in that Virgo aspect, where we're trying to, again, we're organizing our values, and we're being very particular, seeing the details of our values and seeing the details of things around us and seeing if they match up. So this is how, like, a lot of relationships are being put to the test, because even that sextile with the sun and things of that nature, we're looking for the things we're looking for, wanting stability, wanting consistency, needing a partner that we can actually go to those private spaces with. That's kind of top priority. So if you're with somebody that you don't see that potential, you're not, you especially if you don't see an opportunity with them to feel secure or feel like y'all can have that type of connection where y'all can be stable on the same solid ground together, it's like, nah, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, because in the back of your mind, that insecurity, the idea of y'all not being stable is going to drive you to not even want to engage in certain things that look like Cancer. That's where the relationship is actually going to be at. But the sun is paying attention already to what's consistent and what's not. So if you already looking at something like that's not consistent, that's not loyal, that's not stable, it's not even going to go nowhere. And you're just going to be kind of wasting their time and wasting your time. But anyway, yeah, I believe that's everything. If I miss some, hey, we do this every day, every other day, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, much love. I'll catch you on the next one. Make sure y'all hit the link below and cop your 717 tickets. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be dope. It's going to be real dope. We July 15th, Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? So it's going down. We're going to have performances, speakers, astrology panel, relationship panel, just going in, talking, socializing, associating, professional event, expressing each other. You know what I'm saying? Really just getting around with each other. Like I said, community building, putting our minds together, making a lot of this shit real, because that's where we at right now. So that's the goal. Come out, see some powerful performers, powerful speakers, talented motherfuckers, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Much love. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.